It's Thursday, November 16th, 2023. Absolutely stunning day out here in Palm Desert, California. Probably about 84 degrees, crystal blue skies. We got some rain last night. Course looks nice and refreshed. Just absolutely gorgeous. The air is beautiful today. But enough of that. Let's get into what's going on today. Before we do, make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Markets today were pretty flat. Dow Jones closed down 45. NASDAQ was down 9. Gold up $20. Silver was up about 27 cents. So the metals had a very have had a nice week so far. But one thing that we are seeing more of, and something that we're getting more and more informed of, and it's getting much more difficult to hide, is the consumer is hurting. Walmart crashes on disappointing guidance, warns that consumer spending is deteriorating. Walmart stock earlier today was down 8.24%. I don't know where it's at right now, but they took a big hit. There was a sharp sell-off during the last 2 weeks of October for Walmart. General merchandise sales reflected softness in discretionary categories, including apparel, home, and toys. Some expected to see a rebound in these categories. Walmart said, "We are more cautious on the consumer than we were 90 days ago." And this is what began to really affect the markets today. Dow Jones was down well over 100 points earlier. As I said, it closed down 45, but pretty much just a flat day. Markets did not like what Walmart had to say, and the euphoria has taken a little bit of a break. Again, we are more cautious on the consumer than we were 90 days ago. Markets did not like to hear that. And of course, the consumer is getting hurt. They are hurting, and more pain is to come. And this really is an ominous message or an ominous sign from Walmart. If people can't afford at Walmart, where are they going? U.S. crude oil prices fall 5% as the supply grows amid demand worries. Now, this is really interesting to see how much crude oil prices have come down. I mean, 5% in one day. This, to me, is another ominous sign of the not just U.S. economy, but the global economy. We're in November, mid-November to be exact. Wouldn't you think that we would be using a heck of a lot of oil right now? Don't you think there'd be a lot of global demand right now, this time of the year, the holiday season? And we see a 5% fall in oil today, oil prices in mid-November. Something does not add up here. And this to me means that you're looking at a massive global slowdown, not just U.S. slowdown, but a global slowdown. Not a good sign. This is when shipping companies, trucking, boats, airlines, everybody is shipping. This is when oil consumption should be really, I would think, around its peak. And we see a 5% fall today. The hedge today, Burberry shares tumble most in a decade on luxury spending slowdown. Their stock was down 10% today. Falling sales in the U.S. and a downturn in China is what they're saying is the reason for this. And they're also saying that, and this is from Burberry, profits will be much lower. You know, a lot of people may not be in the neighborhood or in the market for a $3,500 raincoat. And, you know, now the luxury market, we're looking at the luxury jewelry market, the secondary watch market, the gray market, some of these luxury clothing markets, all beginning to feel the pain. But think about that, a 10% drop in their stock today. I think that's like one of the worst days in Burberry history. Here's another one. While everybody's telling us on the television how great everything is doing, the hedge, industrial production plunges in October as automaker strikes hit. We saw a 0.8% drop in October. That's year over year. It's the worst since the health crisis. So industrial production falling. We're seeing more luxury companies falling. Oil prices falling. Continuing jobless claims surge to 2-year high. Jobless claims up 13,000 to 231,000. Continuing claims rising to 1.864 million. We're going to see a lot more people lose their jobs. When you have 11 rate hikes, and I do believe more are coming, it is going to have an effect on employment. This is what they wanted to do. They wanted to slam employment. They want to see the unemployment number rise. They want to see the economy slow down. And it's going to happen. It's been happening. And we don't even know how much of this data is even accurate. But you probably all know somebody who's lost a job. You know people that are struggling, people that are working 2 or 3 jobs just to keep their heads above water. I've never in my lifetime I've never seen the U.S. economy in shambles like it is now. It is really, really a mess. I mean, going to downtown Palm Springs, to El Paseo and Palm Desert, yeah, sure, there's people in the restaurants. There's people walking around. There's people shopping. But there's no record-breaking amount of people out here shopping or going to restaurants. It's just not happening. And I see a lot less out-of-state plates. I see a lot less Canadian plates than I did a couple years ago here. Less people are traveling. Now, yes, a lot of people are going to travel for Thanksgiving, but when you look at an area like this, the Palm Desert, Rancho Mirage, Palm Springs area, it's an international destination. We get a lot of people from all over the world that come here. A lot of people from out of state have second homes here or spend, a month or two out of the year here, especially in the winter. I'm not seeing the big crowds. I'm not seeing the out-of-state license plates that I used to see. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. Home builder sentiment drops to lowest point in a year, but falling rates spur some optimism. They're always looking for the hope, right? More builders reported cutting prices in November. The average cut was 6%. Now remember, the average cut was 6%, but what they're not including here is the incentives. They don't include the incentives or the mortgage buydowns. So they may be cutting the price of the home 6%, but how much are they throwing in on the side to get that deal closed? Are they throwing in the granite countertops, the travertine floors, the custom doors, the custom windows, the $50,000 or $100,000 mortgage buydown? They're not including this in the 6%. By the way, I just looked 5 minutes ago at bankrate.com. 30-year fixed mortgage, 7.75%. So if that's the optimism they're looking for, good luck with that. BusinessInsider.com, a town that became one giant Airbnb is now facing a reckoning. Hochatown, Oklahoma. This was really interesting. The number of Airbnbs has increased from 400 to 2,400 in recent years. Thousands of rental cabins have descended upon the sleepy 219-person town, very small town. It's a popular vacation spot on the scenic Broken Bow Lake. It's a 3-hour drive from Dallas. The town is basically a giant Airbnb. Now, here's the problem. Many buyers who got into the Airbnb business here, not just in this area of Oklahoma, but across the country, they bought at the height of the market. And now there are less bookings. There are less people traveling. There are less people going to places in Oklahoma to rent a cabin. There's less people coming out here to Palm Springs, Palm Desert, Rancho Mirage, La Quinta to rent a weekend home or a weekly rent. They're not doing it. And so now so many buyers bought homes, multiple homes at the height of the bubble, and now nobody is calling, nobody is booking those Airbnbs, and the supply is now outpacing demand. And this is going to be a very, very big problem, not just in Hochatown, Oklahoma, but places like Palm Springs, California, Rancho Mirage, California, Orange County, California, Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, all over the country. There's just less and less demand and lots of supply. And how long are the owners of these properties who are severely, highly leveraged going to hang on to their multiple rental properties when nobody is booking them? We're going to see more problems, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to get more and more difficult to cover up these problems. Wolfstreet.com, surging mortgage demand and declining spending. Really? Now, here's a question. We just talked about the situation at Walmart. Walmart is telling you that the consumer is tapped out. They're spending less. They don't have the money. And if they're buying essentials. So knowing that, how in the world are people going to go buy a house at 7.75% that is completely overinflated to begin with, and then on top of that pay 7.75%? That's with 20% down and excellent credit. The average person is paying about 8.5%. Now, the average person is having a difficult time affording to go to Walmart, but we're being told that the housing market's going to be okay, that people, that there's an uptick in mortgage applications now, that everything's going to be fine in real estate. Give me a break. Give me a break. Deflation could be coming this holiday season, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon says. Well, I said this, many of you said the same thing, that we're in a time now where we're going to see inflation and deflation take place at the same time. Food prices continuing to go up or stay up. Oil has come down, but I still believe that energy prices are going to continue to go up. You look at your average utilities, they're not coming down, they're going up. You look at the cost of auto insurance, health insurance, these things are going up. Just the price from day-to-day living is going up. But computer prices have come down. Phone prices have come down. Big screen televisions have come down. All types of electronics have come down. There are things that have come down. But there's a lot of things that continue to go up or stay up, and they're not coming down. So we're going to see, I think, opportunity in sales in certain areas like electronics. I think home prices are going to come down. Used car prices have definitely come down. New car prices will come down. Things of this nature we're going to see in the economy. Certain sectors we're going to see prices come down. And in other areas, prices are not going to come down. And they may even continue to go up. You look at meat prices and food prices, seafood, things like that, labor, it's all going up, right? So it's going to be a very interesting 2024 to say the least. But yeah, we're going to see, I definitely believe we're going to see deflation and inflation take place at the same time. We're beginning to see it right now. Now, I want to close with this last article. Christopher Wray, Wednesday night, told the U.S. House of Representatives that organizations could exploit the war and carry out attacks right here on U.S. soil. I think that's extremely possible. I think it's probably more likely than not. I'm not a big fan of Christopher Wray, I will say that, but what he's saying here is 100% true. And he said this last night. And, you know, my question to you is, what would you do if something like this took place in your neighborhood? We saw what happened in some of these neighborhoods in Israel where people just rode in on motorbikes or just dropped in on parachutes, rode bicycles and walked around and just took people's lives. And people had absolutely no chance whatsoever to survive this. I asked the question to you, what if you woke up one day and all of a sudden there was a group of people highly armed, running through your neighborhood, taking human life? What would you do? Are you prepared to deal with these type of events? Because it's already happened. It just happened a month ago. And I know that a lot of people will sit here and say, well, that can't happen here. And I think that is one of the most ignorant things anybody could ever say. We can't have a depression because it's America. How ignorant. We can't have a currency collapse because we're America. How ignorant. We cannot have any of these type of attacks. Again, very, very ignorant. We think we're so great and we're so immune from these things. And if you believe that, again, you are extremely ignorant. I hope you wake up. I hope you get out of your bubble because you are really drinking the Kool-Aid. But you know, when we watch these type of events take place, we should really we should really remember, we should really be doing our homework, and we should really take notice that if it can happen there, it can happen here. We're not immune from any of this. In fact, it could happen at a much higher level here than most places because so many people are here now. And Christopher Wray is 100% right. And if he's saying this, he knows something. He already knows what's going on. They've had a lot of calls, and they know that there are some very, very bad people here, that there are very organized people here, organized groups that have very, very bad intentions. And so, if you go back to what happened last month in Israel and you watch what take place, how evil this was and what they did to people and shooting people's dogs and just taking human life, people were completely defenseless. You have really got to think about being extremely defensive right now and having layers of defense at your home, in your neighborhoods, in your life. Because if it can happen there, it can happen here. And when Christopher Wray and the FBI come out and they start saying stuff like this, they are warning you. They are telling you something right now. They know a lot more than they're leading on, but I would heed the warning right now, because things are going to happen on American soil, whether you want to believe it or not, or if you want to believe we're immune from it, if you want to hope that it never happens, you go right ahead. I'm going to continue to work on my security and my defenses. And, I just think, like, one thing I would definitely avoid, a little word of advice this weekend, my opinion only, is I would stay away from big crowds. I would definitely stay away from big crowds, large sporting events. And you got to think, if something was going to happen, it's going to happen in a big crowd, probably something, televised, maybe an international event televised. That's where something big would happen. So I would be very, very cautious about sporting events, large crowds, and I would have my head on a swivel. I really, really would. It's situational awareness, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely free. Every one of us can be doing it. We can all be doing a better job. We got to stop, having our eyes glued to a telephone or to a phone, walking around. We got to be careful when we pull up to our house, we're walking to the front door, we pull into the garage. We've got to be careful. We don't have to worry about organizations from other parts of the world. We have so much crime right here that we need to be worrying about too. But we need to worry about all of it, because we are going to see, I believe, events unfold, fallout from the war in the Middle East, which we're not hearing much about now, but it is escalating. And of course, what we do know is escalating right now in America is crime. So you've got to watch out for all of this stuff. And if you're relying on the police to, come to your house 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes later to save you, good luck with that. This is a time, ladies and gentlemen, where it is so important now to really be walking the walk. It's Thursday. We're close to the weekend. What are you going to do this weekend to toughen up your household, to strengthen up and tighten up the defense, those layers of defense around your house? What are you going to do? Are you going to train? I can tell you this, tomorrow, jiu-jitsu, the weekend, the gym, Monday, back to jiu-jitsu, Sunday, possibly the range, if Matt and I can work it in on the schedule, but always trying to be a little bit better, always trying to be in a little bit better shape, always trying to get a little bit more proficient, always adding a little bit of food or water to the inventory, to the stockpile. Always trying to learn a little bit more, always trying to talk to people, absorb knowledge, always trying to do something like this. It's not the time for Disneyland. It's not the time to go out and take a vacation. This is the time where we need to be spending training. The time that, instead of spending money, taking trips and going to Disneyland and all that stuff. I mean, it's fun. It's great if you're 12 years old. But right now, we got big problems coming, and we need to really take our funds, not be giving them to Hollywood or to the movies or to Disneyland. We need to be investing those funds in us, into assets, into preparations. And so I would take some time this weekend, and I would be working on getting stronger, faster, working on my security, getting more proficient, making sure my food stockpile is good, making sure that I've got a trauma kit, making sure I've got a couple tourniquets, maybe take a class on trauma and first aid, and know how to use that tourniquet, know how to use that trauma kit, a first aid kit. There's always something we can do to be better. Go get a good run in this weekend, a good workout. Make sure you're training jujitsu. Make sure you're at the range. Just make sure you're just getting better as a human being. And most of all, make sure you're walking closer to God. We're going to be so dependent now on God for direction, for strength. People who are not, plugging into the most powerful force, the most powerful energy in the entire universe, you're missing out. This is spiritual warfare, ladies and gentlemen. You've never seen so much evil running across the earth as you are now. And there is no doubt a devil, and you better be walking close to God, because that's the only thing that is going to really protect you and guide you. So I'm going to leave it there today. I don't want to ramble on here. But, when I look at nature, I look at the beautiful green grass, the blue skies, the beautiful palm trees, the tortoises are out here running around. I just look at the beautiful landscape. I look at nature. Anybody that says there's no God, I mean, they are so blind. I pray for these people. I really do. To just look at what God gave us in this beautiful earth that we are destroying and killing everything. But, you look at the flowers, and I look at the hummingbirds flying around here, and the tortoises, and just all of God's creations. I think we owe it to God. We owe it to ourselves to not destroy all of this stuff and not let evil prevail. Have a good day. As always, I look forward to speaking with each and every one of you. Stay safe. God bless.